Good morning, everyone. Got your coffee? I've got mine. So listen, there are people that I need to say thank you to. I need to say thank you so much to Garrett. Garrett, thank you so much for always just being a wonderful, dope-ass sister. Same thing to you, Lynetta. Thank you so much for always just being supportive and for really believing in me. I've gotten your messages and I've gotten your kind words, and I appreciate you, sister. And to Sharon, thank you so much for buying me a cup of coffee. I appreciate you. You know, yesterday we didn't go to the central pantry. That's usually when I'm on, the days when, we stop and we get like an iced coffee, or we go to a coffee house and we just talk things over. But we didn't go yesterday because my husband, he was so tired. He woke up so tired and we didn't go. And then I didn't know what to do with myself. So I finished clearing out my summer garden, getting it all reconditioned and, the soil and everything for fall. So I'm ready for fall planting, even though I have to kind of hold off on that because next month we are going to Detroit, and I want to make sure that, my garden doesn't suffer while I'm away. So I'm going to fall back on that just a little bit this year. Thank goodness that we have a long growing season here in South Carolina in Zone 8A. But I thank you so much. I also need to say thank you to every single person who bought a cup. I mean, I knew that there were so many of you all who were telling me to do this, and I knew that, I would get a few sales. And I sold 12 of these total. And I know that that doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, it's so many more than what I thought I would sell, especially on day one, So I thank you so much. These contributions will go obviously to helping make my life a little easier, clearly, but they will also go to the Library Pantry as well, because sometimes the Library Pantry, it needs so much all at once, and it's nice to be able to have those funds readily available instead of, depending on donors constantly for, those resources. So it will also go to help that endeavor as well. And so I really wanted to just say thank you. I appreciate y'all. Now listen, I really don't want to talk about this, but it's what everybody's talking about, so I guess I got to hit on it. Charlie Kirk. Over in the room, people were, I heard about his death yesterday around noonish. Well, they said he'd gotten shot. And there were some reports that he got shot in the ear, and there were some reports that he got shot in the neck. And I said, as being someone who carries a firearm, who goes to the range often enough, used to go a lot once upon a time, much more often than I go now. And I know about firearms, and depending upon where he got shot, that's a big distinction, ear, neck, very big distinction. So then when I found out that he got, the video, he got shot in the neck, and I saw where in the neck, I was like, yeah, he ain't coming back from that. And so TMZ were the first ones to report that he died from his injuries. And like I said, people over in the room, y'all really wanted to talk about it. And, at first I was denying those posts because I just felt like he didn't have anything to do with us. And this was just, a karmic response to another asshole. That's the way I felt about it. But y'all clearly want to talk about it. And I said, well, you know what? I developed this space. I created this space so that Black people can talk about the things they want to talk about. And clearly y'all want to talk about Charlie Kirk. This is going to be the first, the last, the only time I'm going to talk about Charlie Kirk on a video. And I'm not going to talk about Charlie Kirk no more. Let me tell you how I feel about it. And this is how I feel about it as someone who has been there, done that, gone through it. I ain't been the kind of person Charlie Kirk has been, but I've been a heinous person at one point in my life, and I'll never run from that truth. And I'm going to tell you what I have learned from that. I have learned that karma is a just teacher. Karma will circle back around on your ass. You ever had your ass kicked by karma? I've had my ass kicked by karma. She didn't want to see me dead, mind you, but there were others who did. And it just so happened that I was able to change my life around, and I had enough emotional intelligence to see where I was going wrong and to see where I was headed and to get off of that trajectory and find and plot out a new course, for myself and for my life. And unfortunately, he was only 31. He looked like he was 41. It's about all that hate in his soul. That's what hate'll get you. It'll have you looking old. It really will before your time. This man hated immigrants. He hated women, and he hated black people. He did. And right when this happened to him, this man was spewing more hate and more vitriol. And karma was just like, you know what? Not today. I'm sick of you. Not today. And, when he talks about gang violence, he's talking about the black people, us black people, all of the gang violence. I would just like to point out that it was a white person who killed him. They act like they don't have violence in their community. They act like it's not a whole genre of TV that they created. Dateline 2020, Kill Thy Neighbor, Evil Lives Here, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck did I marry? It's based off just their violence. Historically, white people are the most violent people ever. The most violent people ever. And the way they project that onto everybody else, like it's not them. This man said out of his own mouth, this man said, regarding children being shot in school, that some people were going to have to die in order that the rest of us be entitled to our Second Amendment rights. Way to make a point. Because he got shot and he died. And, I saw something over in the room where this sister posted this post by another sister. And I agree so much with it because I am so tired. And mind you, I am an empathetic person, and I think that I am kind, and I think that I am compassionate, and I think I have a good heart. I do. But I get so sick and so tired of people who lack that, feeling entitled to that. People who lack empathy, feeling entitled to empathy. People who don't pray for the well-being of others, feeling entitled to prayer. People that don't consider other people, feeling entitled to consideration and care and kindness and compassion. They feel entitled to all that shit, but they don't give it to anyone else. And that's the reason why karma circles back around on people like this. Like them farmers, fuck them farmers. They sued so that black farmers couldn't have those subsidies. And this is why they can't make their businesses run, because this is a karmic response. Karma is a just teacher. They will never succeed because of that shit they did to black farmers. They're going to stay failing. That's why we got to stop bailing them out. It's another reason why we got to stop bailing them out. We have to stop bailing out failing businesses. They made a go for it. They're not successful. Let's stop bailing them out. It's time to let them fail. They need to do something else. They need to stop eating avocado toast and get a second job. Ain't that what they tell everybody else? And now The people who support people like Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump are telling the rest of us, this man had kids, he had a wife, he had children. You need to be, you don't need to be celebrating. Nobody's celebrating anybody's death. We're just not mourning it. When you're a heinous person, you can't control the reaction. When you're not a compassionate person, you can't control the reaction that others have. When you vote against people, when you speak against people, when you act against people, you cannot criticize the response of said people. I have learned to be compassionate, but I have learned in my 50-some years who to give that compassion to, who deserves it. And Charlie Kirk didn't deserve it. I've learned who to give my energy to, my prayers to, my thoughts to. And it won't be to the Charlie Kirks of the world. Fuck Charlie Kirk. I'm not sad that he's dead. I'm not happy about it. I'm not jumping up and down about it. I'm not glad about it. I'm not celebrating it. But fuck Charlie Kirk. I ain't sad about it neither. He does not have my thoughts. He does not have my prayers. His family does not have my compassion. I'm pretty sure his wife thinks like him, and they were going to raise children that think the same. Fuck all of them. Wife, kids, everybody. Fuck them all. Stop telling the rest of us to feel compassion for those of you who actively go against us and make our lives harder and our world so much more difficult than it has to be. Fuck you people. We owe you nothing. Not compassion, not kind words, not thoughts, not prayers. We owe you absolutely nothing. Even the people that actually are celebrating aren't altogether wrong. I mean, they're going to have to worry about their own karma down the line, but they ain't necessarily wrong. This is what happens when bad people die. Nobody cares. With that being said, that is all that I have. This is the earliest I've come to you all for a morning coffee video. So if you see it within the next couple of hours, you see it. If you don't see it to the morning, because that's when you look for me, see it when you see it. Again, thank you so much for supporting the Cups, for supporting this platform, for supporting the Library Pantry. If you would like to do any of those things, I will leave the links down in the comment to my Cash App, my GoFundMe, my Cash App, my Venmo, and my Etsy shop. You all have a good day. And if you don't feel bad about Charlie Kirk dying, doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you someone who knows who deserves your energy and your compassion. All the people that he hated deserves your energy and your compassion. And let's continue to make the world a better place for children so that they don't die of gun violence. And for women, so that we have the rights to our own bodies. And to black people, because we are humans. We are Americans. And we are worth it. We are worthy. Have a good day.